to segue into the movie. That's why I went into my movie, Ballin'. To me, it's a natural progression. I was just on Angie Martinez and talking to her about movies, and I was like, what's my natural progression? It's movies and TV from music. And I got Ballin' out right now, #1 for 3 weeks on Tubi, doing incredible. And I got a great cast with Lance Stevenson, Safari, Trey Chaney, Rebecca, and my leading lady, which is Brenda Paulino, a new face. She did incredible. And again, I'm in that movie space now. It's just, to me, to get away from some of that. And then I walk right into the movie world, and guess the first thing I'm dealing with, Tubi. People say, why'd you go to Tubi? Because it has our audience. It's the #1 place for Black music, movies and content. They have 110 million, but it's our culture. The bulk of it is our culture that's watching my movies over there.
I listened to an interview with like the CEO of Tubi, and the market or the number of people they have watching it is gigantic.
Yes, it's huge.
Yeah, and it's a very different kind of demographic as well, because when you do free, you just end up with a completely different slice of America than you might get on something like Netflix. You or I think $10 a month on Netflix, who gives a shit? But to a lot of people, that's a big deal.
It is a big deal. I think they just raised it too. I think it's
15, 20.
I think it's like $20 now.
And even they have the ad tier, the ad free, the ad supported tier now.
They converted to create that because they see how well Tubi is outperforming, generating a bigger profit than a Netflix. That's crazy. Yeah. And Fox bought Tubi, just so you understand. Fox senior acquired it.
Right.
But the reality is they did it because of these Black films that started generating and doing so well. And again, I got over 3 million views in less than 3 weeks. #1 right now for Black independent films, not the Tubi original films, because they pay the money for that and they promote it. They don't promote me.
Right.
It's just living on Tubi, and I have to get people over there to go watch it. So go watch it, Tubi, Ballin'.
I got to check this. But okay, so does it feel like creating content for Tubi is the business model, or is this a way to like gain exposure and create some momentum so that you can maybe eventually do other things?
Just like I started back in music with my brother and watching the independent game. We started with a company called Blunt Records that we started. Their real name is TVT, which is Television Tunes.
Right.
So they never did hip hop. They owned all of the television cartoon music. And that's what their company was, TV Tunes. And they would license that to all the TV networks. So we went in and started a record label called Blunt Records with them as an independent. And they had a distribution, and we started. But again, it's those days for me, for movies right now. I'm in that same mindset. I don't expect to walk in and have these blockbuster films in theaters everywhere. I know Hollywood never expected us to be able to make films in the first place. We used to talk about this years ago with music. They could do music, but they can't do movies. Well, we could do movies now.
See, okay, that's interesting, because the same way that we're talking about how the labels don't develop artists anymore, I think there's a lot of people that look back on the 90s and 2000s and they say there were so many great urban hip hop influenced, rooted movies during that time period. And obviously the movie industry has just changed in innumerable ways.
Technology's fucked everything up.
There's a lot of reasons why that doesn't really happen as much, because I mean that happens for so many genres. They make Spider-Man movies.
Absolutely.
They don't want to make you
still spend that money for those.
Yeah, but I mean, is that part of it? Is just knowing that there's this audience that is perpetually kind of underserved?
No, it's again, if you're a movie maker out here and you're doing, let's say, urban film, I don't care what you look like, and you're making urban content for Black audience, basically, for the most part. Again, it's for everyone, but that's what it is, right? It's a Black film. So when you're making that, there's not a lot of places that it could live to make money or would even accept it. If I went to, and I tell you, I talked to Netflix, they love it, but they didn't take it. I went to Hulu, they love it, but they didn't take it, right? So what are you stuck with? You're only stuck with a very few places to put. And this is when I talk about a Dame Dash, right? He has America New. Vicky, she has a New Generation. These are two people that have their own, let's say, Tubis for themselves, for Black filmmakers, low budget, to could get their film on these places. P. Nice just told me he has a film. I said, get it over to New Generation. and let them put it out. They'll have it up for you if you can't get on Tubi or whatever, because you go through a quality control to get on these places, and if you don't pass, they're not taking it. They used to take anything. I know guys that made movies for like less than 20 grand and made $500,000
Right.
off of Tubi. That to me is amazing.
Yeah, that's insane.
Right? That's an amazing flip. Like business, that's great. So I feel, I hate to put it always, but I feel they block it now. They never expected that to happen. They look at that film and they're probably like, this is terrible. How's it making money? It's for our culture. It's not really for you, buddy. That's the facts. And we have 110 people inside of Tubi that will support that film. They put my movie out without telling me.
Yeah, I saw that.
They put my movie out without telling me.
I'm sure that didn't make you happy.
How could it? If let's say Tubi's basically my partner, they're making money off of the money movie.
Right.
How wouldn't you want me to promote it and market it so I could get its maximum exposure to get people to watch it?
Yeah,
that you would just throw it out.
That had to make you feel like they just don't give a shit about
Absolutely.
your
But I had conversations with them and they fixed it in 3 days.
Got it.
Right, and they put out the wrong version. Even worse. They switched it in 3 days. To their credit, I give them credit for that. But they are a huge part of how much money is generated, and they're a partner. You would think they should promote it as well. You're owning. You have equity stake in this. If I make $1, you're getting. If you have a movie on Tubi, the deal is 55 cents off of the dollar.
Right.
They're taking 55 cents off $1,
which is actually the same as YouTube.
Yeah.
Although they get way better ad rates, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, that's what they did. And YouTube's raping and pillaging. It shouldn't be that. That's fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Come on, Leah. Give the people a break. Cut a fucking break for these people, man. Come on, man. You could do it. And it'll make it even bigger, I promise you.
But did it feel kind of turnkey making a movie in comparison to making music? Because I feel like there's so many intangibles with music that are hard to get right. People just have to take this artist serious. They have to care about what this artist is saying. There's so many things. And then you have to make the hit records. I guess like in a movie in comparison, if you have a good idea and you can tell the story, it's got to feel kind of simple in comparison.
I try to dumb down everything I do. My motto in my office is on the wall is KISS, keep it simple, stupid. And what I did to do that is I look at music and movies, and I said, okay, in music it's bars, and in movies it's frames. So if I could keep my frames hot, it's mini frame, I'm gonna have a decent film. If I keep my bars hot, I'm gonna have a decent record, right? It all goes in. I always say, I'm not gonna do anything whack, right? No bullshit. I'm not gonna put out no bullshit. I won't do it. I have that same philosophy. So before we started, I did Zoom calls with my actors, who's pretty much all newbies, except let's say Trey Chaney. He's from The Wire, and I did Zooms with everyone for about 2 months. Getting them, going over lines, making sure it's right. Again, I'm giving you my cheat code. I know everyone's going to jack me for it, but it really made a difference as far as it took me 17 days to shoot the movie. And I could have did it shorter, but Eva had to leave to do something for Mary J. Blige, and I allowed them, and it stretched out maybe an extra 3 days for me. So I could have probably finished in 2 weeks. Okay. Every shot, everything, because my actors was ready from me prepping them prior. And had an acting coach, and we going over lines. And see, it's one thing to read, and you could read with expression. The next thing is to act, meaning I'm going to say those words and interact with Adam. I'm going to, I got to do things that makes it even more. And that's when you see it from a visual standpoint. This was a natural iteration for myself. My brother was already, he has a film called Made in America. If you know about Tales, we had that Tales TV show where he would take a record and make an hour show about the hip hop song. My favorite one is Fuck the Police. That was in our first season. It got award credits and stuff for what it was, because the topic, and we showed Fuck the Police, what it means to us in our communities, and we flipped it. So basically, the community was white and the cops was all black. And at the end of the record, I said the record, man. Look, Irv, you getting goosebumps. At the end of the show, it's a riot going on and everything, but he plays the D'Angelo record, while the riots are going on, which is how does it feel? And he's basically a cry out to say, stop the violence. Then we put a list of all the people that was killed in the communities with gun violence by cops and stuff like that. And again, a powerful show. It's dope.
If you haven't tried Everything 420 yet, you are missing out. From grinders and rigs to edibles and shrooms, they've got the biggest selection I've ever seen. It's like Amazon, but for smoking gear. Everything ships straight from Dallas, quick and discreet. Check them out. They've always got promos running, and use code NOJUMPER to save even more.